Welcome, and thank you for joining us on our trip up the Pacific Coast Highway. In April 2025, after our Panama Canal cruise, we disembarked in Los Angeles. There we rented a car for the trip north. This trip captured a couple bucket list places for Cindy, and we're excited to share these highlights with you. So sit back and enjoy the ride on this twisty, windy road. After escaping the LA traffic, we made it to Point Dume. We were excited to find the wildflowers in bloom everywhere, making a yellow carpet. There were gorgeous views up and down the coast on this beautiful sunny day. Parking was nearly non-existent, however. We spent the night farther up the coast in the town of Solvang, a Dutch village in California. The town pays tribute to Hans Christian Andersen with statues, museums, shopping, trolley tours, windmills, and several Dutch bakeries. The next morning we drove up to Old Port Beach, somewhat out of the way, but a nice place to enjoy the sand and the sea. Back on track, we made it up to Morrow Bay with Morrow Rock, a nice fishing village. With, a great big rock. Here we're trying to get a nice selfie with the rock behind us. You can also drive out to the rock and access the ocean and do some surfing. Then we toured Hearst Castle, which unfortunately due to copyright issues, we can't show you the absolutely gorgeous buildings and grounds. But here's the visitor center and parking lot. And an extreme telescopic shot of the mansion from the visitor center. Do go and take a tour if you're in the area. A short drive farther up the road is Elephant Seal Beach, with hundreds of elephant seals lounging on the sand just feet away from the boardwalk. Unfortunately, due to a landslide, the road is closed and we had to backtrack and detour around to access the Big Sur region from farther north the next day. Headed south from Monterey, we drove across the iconic Bixby Bridge. We stopped at Seal Beach Overlook. You can hear the seals better than you can see them. These points are closed, so we can't get out there. I think these are the best views we're going to get. The trail to McWay Falls was closed, but the photo spot was open. Careful, it's a narrow, unofficial trail behind the guardrail. Park rangers advise not going out there for your safety. After a lovely drive through beautiful trees and seaside cliffs, we made it to the end of the road, still closed to that landslide. Turning around and going north again, we came upon Pigeon Point Lighthouse. Closed for repairs, but you can still walk around and get a good view of it. There's a youth hostel there also. San Francisco. We didn't tour around town at all, just stopped at the Golden Gate Bridge. The city would be a whole trip by itself. You can see Alcatraz out there in the distance through the haze. Don't forget to get your National Parks passport stamped there at the gift shop. On the other side of the road, accessed by a tunnel, there are old fortifications protecting the bay. and different views of the bridge and the ocean. On the north side of the bay is Point Bonita, black sand beaches and a lighthouse. It's a long walk down to the lighthouse, only to find that it's closed. You can't even get out to where you can see it from a distance. We did see a coyote, though. And he saw us. Farther up the coast is Red Rock Spring, right alongside the road. It's supposedly tested regularly to make sure it's safe to drink. Cindy approves. Locals apparently fill up here too. Close by was another beach, great for surfing. Point Reyes Lighthouse was closed too, of course. At least we could get out to the overlook and see it from a distance. Along with a whale skull and some very interesting erosion of the rocks. I'm not sure our knees could have handled the climb back up from the light anyway. Next stop, the Redwoods, the Chandelier Tree where you can actually drive your car through a living redwood tree. Then we stopped at Confusion Hill for an old-time roadside tourist trap experience. Trying to maintain your balance in this wacky house is not easy, even for a seasoned mariner like me. They have several optical illusions for you to play with and try to figure out. Like, how do these balls roll uphill? Outside, there's a place where you look taller if you're standing in one spot and shorter in another right next to it. And vice versa. and the ground is level. There's so many more oddities there to experience and explore. Driving through the Avenue of the Giants is a magical experience. The majesty of the trees, so many areas to explore. Here in the Founder's Grove, you'll find the Founder's Tree. Where else would it be? Founder's Tree, 346 feet tall, 12.7 feet diameter. A little farther north is the Immortal Tree. It has survived lightning, fire, loggers, and floods. Estimated to be around 1,000 years old. You can see the scars, but she still lives. Then there's the Big Tree. At 1,500 years old, it's a granddaddy of trees. But wait, there's more. Not just the big tree, but an even bigger tree. This way to more big trees. There's a very big tree. And that's a big tree too. Cape Blanco Light, which was also closed, but the visitor center was open, and you could walk around and see the sights in the light. And the needles are right there too. And the roads are washed out. There's so many places along the coast. The last day brought us to the Sea Lion Caves. After a walk down from the gift shop, you hear the sea lions down at the bottom in the ocean at the mouth of the cave. Can't see them very well though. Then you'll ride an elevator 180 feet down into the caves where hundreds of sea lions come to seek shelter. There's a side tunnel to the back and a view of bird nesting grounds. And a local lighthouse. These pigeon guillemots with their red feet apparently are there only part of the year. And I was so happy to see them. Finally was Thors Well, a hole in the rocks allowing the waves to blow up through and spout into the air. And that wrapped up our drive along the Pacific Coast Highway. We had to move on from there to go see family in a fabulous high school rendition of Mamma Mia. Thank you for allowing us to share our adventures with you.